Well, hope you packed a snack because this is going to be a long one. I have all the curriculum that I've picked out for next year. Not all the resources and living books that go along with it, but definitely all the spines, all the curriculum for my 3 sons. I've got one that's almost 11, one that's 9, and one that's 7. And we do a lot of family style learning, so I'm not super specific on grade level things. You'll see that some of our group learning is a lower grade level, some is a higher grade level. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with making it fit for my kids and adjusting it to meet their needs. I'll show you first what their individual things are for math and reading, and then I'll show you what we're doing for group studies, some of the resources that we have, also just some of the things that I really like or things that worked for us last year that we're continuing. So grab a cup of tea, find a comfy spot, and let's get into it. To start off, I'd like to show you this little index file organizer that I created for this year. Now, usually I don't do a lot of specific planning. I do plan what we're going to do, but I don't sit down week by week and write out what lessons we need to do or anything like that. I just start working through the books, and however far we get is how far we get. And then I reassess next year. Are we going to finish up the book, or maybe we finished it early and we started something new, and I'm fine with that. And I'm fine with switching stuff up too. So I feel like if I planned out the whole year, stuff's going to happen because that's how life is, or things aren't going to work, or things are going to go fast, or whatever. So that's just not my thing. If it's your thing, that's fine. Nothing against that. But for me, what I'm going to try this year, and also because I'm kind of an over planner, not over planner, what would the word be? I'm kind of overexcited about curriculum and learning. And so I have purchased more things than are reasonable for our family to finish in a year. And I know that. So one thing that I did though by setting up this index file is that I put the different curriculums that we're going to use, and then I put down the lessons that are included in it. But that way I can rotate through. So if we do this one time, I can put it to the back of that section, and then we can do a different one. Or I can work through like a whole unit of one and then put it to the back and then work on a unit from some other curriculum that I've selected for this year. And then for tracking what we do, because again, when a lot of what we do is unit study, Charlotte Mason living books, and things that aren't as quantifiable sometimes, it's helpful for me to have this spreadsheet where I put the date and if there's any details about the day, and then I check off. I do one for each student. So I check off what that student has done for the day. So if we're talking about Africa and we're talking about the history of it, but we're also looking at the geography of where it is, I can check off for geography and history. So this was a great way for me to see visually what we have been learning and what we have been working on, even though there's not like a ton of textbooks that are finished or a ton of workbooks that are getting completed. Another thing is that I leave a lot of freedom in our calendar. I don't sign up for stuff that's on nights and weekends. I rarely sign up for stuff at all. I feel like part of us homeschooling is to be home. My kids definitely socialize enough. They are involved with church and the youth group that's there. They have lots of friends. We have neighbors that we visit. We've got family that we visit. And they are active in the community with the library and things like that. So they definitely get plenty of socialization, and I'm not worried about that for them. But I think it can be easy sometimes to fill up our schedule with too much. And for some families, it works great for them, and that's what they want to do. They want the freedom of homeschool so that they can do all these in-depth studies of dance and sports and specific classes, and so that's great for them. But for me and my family, part of why I homeschool is so that we can be home and have kind of a slower life and spend more time outside in our own yard, playing, making things up, whatever. So for me, I only signed them up for one class so far for next year. It's a 6-week class of jiu-jitsu, and that's it so far. That's the only thing I've committed to. And I'm sure other things will come up, especially our library is amazing. So other things will come up through the year that I'll end up bringing them to and having them participate in. But so far, that's all I've committed to keep our schedule really open so that we can be home and enjoy learning the things that we have set aside to learn, and so that they get lots of free time to be outside and explore and be little boys too. All right, so I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now because I pulled out all the stuff that I have planned for next year. And I am excited to show it to you, but it's definitely a lot. And also, I'm trying to hide it from my kids while I show it to you, because on our first day of school, what I do is I lay out all the curriculum and different resources and things that I've gotten for the year, and then I wrap it all up with wrapping paper, and so it's a big surprise. And that morning they get to rip it open after breakfast and see what we have planned for the year. And usually that first day of school, we're just looking through the different books, talking about things, maybe playing one of the games that I put out or things like that. So it's a fun first day tradition. But with all that said, you know, I've got blankets and piles and things hidden, and I'm kind of like telling the kids to stay off there. So we'll see how far we get. So I think first I'll start with the things that I'm doing for each individual child. One thing that we're doing is we are doing Math Mammoth again. We have loved Math Mammoth, and so I'm sticking with that. It's very streamlined. I do have a video on it, so I'll tag it somewhere. But it's just 2 to 3 pages a day, depending on the age of the student, and every other problem. So then you have review built in if they need more practice, but if they don't, you can keep moving ahead. I really love how she teaches kids to come at problems from different ways, and so it's just been really good. I really love Math Mammoth. So we're sticking with that. So for my 10, almost 11-year-old, he definitely has some kind of dyslexia. So we've really focused on reading these last years of homeschool. And, but this year, he's had some breakthroughs. I think part of it was the dyslexia games that we did. Part of it is his age and all the practicing he's been doing, but it's been really good to see. We're out and about and he's reading signs and notices and different labels and things around the house, and oh, it's just so good. It just feels so good for my mama heart. So with him, he did start Catch on a Cursive last year. We're going to finish this up this year, and there's a bunch of activities in the back where you practice cursive, so we'll continue on with those. For his individual writing, we're doing writing strands, and I like the approach to this. It's kind of got writing and reading mixed together. So one lesson will be writing, the next lesson is reading. It starts right off with a sentence, very simple, but it's all about refining the writing. It's based on a program that was from way back, like in the 80s, and it's been redone by a few different companies. This one as well, which this is a master books curriculum, as well as My Father's World has done some spin-offs from it. But this also includes what would have been the reading strands, I guess, version, but it goes through the Bible. So it'll have a Bible passage, and then you're reading through that and doing reading comprehension and activities along with that. So I'm excited about this curriculum. This is the last of the dyslexia games for Series B that he did. So we just have to finish up this last workbook, and we will be doing that before I put him into Spelling UC. I'm pretty sure we're going to try that, see how it goes. We might end up going back to the dyslexia games. I try not to hold curriculum too tightly. Something's not working for us, it's okay to let it go and just try something else. But I do give it like the old college try. Like I really try to dig in to it and actually see if the program works and not do it half-heartedly, or, you know, but I'm all in. But then if it's not working, I'm all out. And also, I've been liking the Explode the Code books. I have a few different levels that I've been working through with the boys over the summertime, and they like them, I like them. So I think we're going to continue to go on with that where he's at, and same with my other 2 sons. And then the last one for my oldest that he's doing individually is Editor-in-Chief, and this is grammar and punctuation. It's looking at little passages and correcting them. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Fix-It grammar, but simpler, I would say. So we're going to start with that. And then for my middle guy, he's 9 years old, and this year we're going to be doing handwriting. This is T, which stands for transitioning, and so it practices the manuscript, and then it teaches cursive and practices cursive. So even though he knows manuscript, I was like, I want him to go through this and just make sure that all his letter formation is good and on point before we start going into the cursive. And so I don't mind, kind of same thing with this, like skipping through some of it if he's already got it, or it might be a good practice for him. And he is also going to continue on with Explode the Code with whatever level he's at, and also the Spelling UC. So far we've liked that. We only did it over the summertime, but it was really good. So we're going to continue that into the school year, and hopefully it continues to serve us well. And my youngest guy, who's 7 years old, will be doing Math Mammoth, Spelling UC, and Explode the Code. So that's what I have planned for each of their individual, like, reading and math. And a little bit of grammar and writing for Carver. But then I've got all of our group subjects. I like to do everything family style as much as possible, because I feel like it connects us, and then we're talking about the same subjects. I feel like it's probably less frenetic for me. I don't know, because I haven't tried to do separate things for everybody. But I also feel like they learn better when things are living books and unit study style when it comes to things like history and geography and Bible and things like that. So I really like doing that style when I'm teaching them these subjects. For Bible this year, I've got a few different options of things we can do. That way we can break it up, do different things on different days. Some days we will just read the Bible, or I've got a couple little devotional books. We'll just read an excerpt from that, and that's fine too. But I got Growing with God, which is part of the Positive Action Bible curriculum. And I got the same level 3 for all of my kids so that they can do them together. I also like doing the same level because then everybody's not on separate pages. I don't have to read all the separate things, especially where none of them are super strong readers where they can just do something independently like that. So staying all in the same level is good. And if the little guy can't keep up as much, that's fine. And with the big guy, we can add in more stuff as needed. Another Bible resource is The Young Peacemaker. And I'm very excited about this. I had a friend that gave me this copy of it. And my kids were fighting later, like a month later or 2 months later. And I prayed to God and I was like, please help me know what I can do to help them. And like, what should I be using, or, what can I do next? And he reminded me of this book. And so I started the first chapter and it was so good. The visuals that they used, the words that they used, the examples, it got them into the Bible about it. It was so good. So I ordered the copy that has the student pages with it. And I do want to do a full in-depth video on this because it is such a good resource. But this has been very helpful to us. So we're going to continue on with that. And then also continue on with Generations, God's Big Story. This is really good. This has reading, and then it also includes vocabulary and comprehension questions in it as well. So I really like this study too. All right, on to science. This year, same thing. We're going to do something that's for all ages. I'm making it for all ages, but it's a reason for science. And we went with level F. I just picked this level based on the topics that they covered. So I can't remember what grade it's supposedly aimed for, and I don't care because I make the curriculum fit for my family, especially when we're doing it as a group study anyway. So this is very simplified. It's not the big textbook where you read through it. This is the teacher's edition, which has pictures from the students' workbook in it, as well as the few things that you're going to say about what's happening. But it's very focused on doing hands-on activities, and it comes with the box. You can buy it with the box that has all the things that you would need, and it says that it's good for up to six students. So I only had to buy one box for everyone, and I like that as well. Because we do so many living books and deep dives for other subjects, I wanted science to be just a little bit lighter and more to the point this year. And so that's where I thought that this would be good. It's once a week, it's hands-on. Every lesson has a verse that goes along with it. And so I just really like the way that this was set up and that it wouldn't be adding more to our reading load. Also, can I just say I'm sorry for the washer machine? But whenever I hear a washer, I just think my house is working for me and what a blessing that is. So be encouraged if your washer machine is making noise in your life as well. Okay, the washer machine has stopped, which is great. So, back to where I was. So. All right, back to where we were. Another thing for science that I picked up that's just fun is this book called Science Detectives: How Scientists Solved 6 Real-Life Mysteries. So I'm excited to read that with them. That's just like an extra read aloud. And then all my kids have shown an interest in cooking. They all want to cook more. They do cook some stuff, but they want more. And that's great because I would love it if they know how to cook. I think that's an important life skill for anybody to have. So one thing that I got for this is the Chef's Fun Schooling Journal. This has like 4 or 5 different activities that it repeats throughout the whole book. So one is a cooking challenge where it'll say try to make, like the first one is try to make a soup with like 4 ingredients or something. And then you write down the recipe you came up with, you rate the soup, you say if there's anything that you'd want to change. Another activity is watch a show and then write down information from that. Another one, they'll have an actual recipe in that and say try this recipe, what did you think about it? So I'm going to link this up with some shows, especially Good Eats with Alton Brown. we really love this. It includes science in it. Sometimes his jokes could be a little mature, so, you know, use your own judgment with it. But overall, I've really liked this, and I like how he breaks down, he shows how to do the actual cooking, but then he also breaks down other things, like teaches you about cheese, or teaches you about why things work together, shows you the molecular structure of things, and so this has been really interesting. And he does little skits in it, and so it keeps the kids' attention too, which is great. And then I also got them this cookbook, which shows some step-by-step processes of cooking in it. And I also got them a recipe box that has some recipes in it that they can try. Okay, what to get into next? How about art? So for art, last year, one thing that we did was artistic pursuits, and these I really love. They're geared for grades K through 3, but don't let that stop you. My son is, like I said, almost 11. They have videos where they show the process of how to use certain materials to make art, and they even include things like clean your brushes off at the end and put your things away. And so I love that. I love how it's very step by step. And so we've had a lot of fun doing the projects in these books, and any age can do an art project. That's the way that I look at it. And they also have art appreciation in there as well. And then I also got this, which is history of art. It goes all the way from creation up to contemporary art. Has lots of pieces, lots of information. Has these cards that go along with it, and they have a song that you can learn for the timeline. So I'm not sure how much of this we'll get through this year specifically, but I love having this resource because I feel like if we're studying a time period, we could stop and do that time period, or we can just start at the beginning and work our way through, and it doesn't matter to me how long it takes us, because this will just go along with everything else that we do. Right along with art is music, and I definitely overbought for music this year. There were just so many great options. So one thing I got was this Simply Charlotte Mason music study with the masters and doing Joplin. So it comes with a little booklet, and it comes with 2 CDs. So you can listen to their music, you can read in the booklet. They have 2 biography type stories, living stories, one for younger students, one for older students, and then it also has a few activities at the end where you listen to a certain piece and it'll talk about that one piece. So I really like the way this is set up. Seems very simple for a deep dive on that. This is ready to read music, so this is actually like the theory behind music. So we'll see. Again, I don't know if we'll do all of it, if we'll do part of it. We're just going to see as we go. Then this one, Themes to Remember. So this covers 4 different time periods. It goes from classical through, it starts with Baroque. It goes from Baroque to classical, the Romantic period, and into modern. And so it has lots of different composers that it covers and pieces. And I think the premise behind it is that you will hear just a small section of one of their famous songs that they've written, but then there's lyrics that go along with it to help you remember who wrote the song and things about them. Then I saw The Good and Beautiful has this music appreciation, and they had this great advertisement video on it. And it's not that expensive either. So I got this, same thing where we can do it together. It also has hymn studies in it, so I really like that. Seems very simple in here. It's just got like 1 or 2 pages that they can write in some things. And then there's also like some read aloud stories, so I think they read it on the screen on the video that you watch, but then you can read along in the book. And the videos looked really interesting. Again, we haven't started this yet, but from the advertisement, it looks like they go to different cities and they talk to different people. And so it's very interactive. It's very alive. So I'm looking forward to that as well. All right, so for history and geography this year, we're doing our state history and geography. For that, I got some books about our state, and we're doing lots of field trips, which we started this summer, and living books too, and historical societies. So we're using all those types of resources for it, and my kids are each making their own binder about the state. So we printed a map of our state, put it on the front page, and then we put little stars right near where we've done different field trips, and then they can fill it in on the side where the field trip was, or draw a little picture of it on the map. So we're mapping where we've been and what's there, and also things like landmarks that we've mapped on it as well. And then they'll make a page to go in the binder as well. So sometimes it's pictures from a brochure that they cut out, other times it's something that they drew, or they'll narrate a story to me, or they'll write down words. They can make a little book. So I'm giving them a lot of freedom in how they make the binder, but we are putting pages in. And I also have these neat, let me go get them. I'll show you. All right, I'm back. We also have these field trip reports, which I love this. We've used this for a lot of things. You write down the date and where you went, and they get to describe it, their favorite part. Maybe I'll do like a video and help you see it. But the things that they learn, and I also added observed, because sometimes you go to something and you're like, I don't know what I learned there, but you observed a lot. So that's helped them when they're thinking of what to write. And then draw a picture at the bottom. So these we've used, as well as these pages where it's just you draw the picture and then you fill in at the bottom, or state history binder that they're putting together. Because I'm extra, because I love to learn and I love curriculum. We are also going to do Africa, because I was thinking, okay, what do I want to do for geography? And I knew I wanted to do something in Africa, but it feels like a lot of curriculum and books are based on like all of Africa and not specific countries. I did find some resources, but it wasn't as easy as it was for some other countries that we'd studied. So I was like, you know what, this whole year, we'll just focus on African countries and the continent of Africa. So with that, I decided to go with Generations, taking Africa for Jesus. This is, they say, a level 5, but again, I'm going to do it with all my kids, and it's fine. If the little doesn't get as much, that's fine. And we can adapt it to him. But they each have their own workbook that they can work through with that. I like how Generations is biblically based, but it also has great pictures in it, and so it looks like it's going to be a really fun course to do together. And then also, for the geography part, we're doing Legends and Leagues South, which covers Africa, mostly just Africa. There's this little storybook and then the workbook. And same thing, I get the workbook for all of them. I don't remember what grade this was aimed at, and I don't care. I'm sure you could guess that, because we can always make things a little easier or a little harder, depending on our student. We can see where they're at and adjust or add or take away and make it fit our family, but that way we can do stuff together. That course also comes with these geography songs. And another thing that was recommended to me, which is right here, I think, is Visualize World Geography. I've not opened it yet, but they do have Africa on here. So there's physical geography things to remember and mnemonics. And she said that it's really good. Her kids like watching it. It, I think, teaches like the shapes to relate that to something so that you can remember what the country's called or things about it. So we'll probably be using that too as a resource in amongst all the other things that we're doing. Echo at the end, coming into the middle again, because I realized I missed a pile. Okay, so another set of resources on our Africa study. I just got this Homelands Around the World, which is Rod and Staff, History and Geography number 4, and they have a section that has some African countries in it, so we're going to be studying that, which this is very living bookish. And then I did get several books, just living books to go along with it, that we'll be reading this year, as well as books from different sets. Like these ones are really interesting. They have lots of different countries, so I bought a few of those. Of course, Curious Kids Press, I always love their guides to different countries. We're going to look at some people in Hungry Planet, which shows what they eat for the week. Now, just a heads up, there is some tribal nudity in one of the pages. I think only one page, but just as a heads up on that. And then, of course, Book of Nations, which this has every country in the world, a little overview, some real pictures from it. So I'm excited to look into this too. There, I got you all caught up on the pile that I missed. All right, on to the family writing and grammar that we're doing. Now, we have used Beowulf grammar, which I really like, and it's very hands-on, and so I would say that we will continue using that. We got so far in it, we didn't finish it last year, but I found that some of the concepts were still just hard for my kids to grasp and to hang on to, which I think is normal. I think that's why kids study grammar every year, because nobody gets it the first time around. Another thing that I'm going to possibly add is this Simply Grammar book. Again, I don't know what level it's supposed to be for, but it seems very gentle. There's simple exercises in it. And so we'll see where we get. And I don't mind skipping around either. You know, maybe we'll really focus and just deep dive on nouns. And we'll go into nouns in this book. We'll go into nouns in Beowulf. We'll go into nouns in our read aloud books. And just really try to solidify and then move on. I mean, nouns they pretty much have. But you know what I mean. Just one section at a time. But the other one that I got, don't pick on me, guys. Okay, I'm going to try to rotate things. I told you this at the beginning. That's why I started with a rotation plan, because I know I can't do it all. I'm not that crazy. We will start a lot. We will not finish it all. We will start a lot, we will learn a lot, and we will grow this year, and that's the goal. So this is called Grammar Castle, and they have their storybook, and each part of speech is linked to a character, and they have their own little song that you sing, and it goes along to like a child's tune. And so I'm going to try that because I think that will help them memorize the different parts of speech. But they also have these workbooks that you get. So this is geared for 2nd and 3rd grade because it's the beginning of grammar. Same thing in here, simple stuff, but I think they are getting into diagramming because there's underlining and marking different things. I don't know how deep it goes, but again, we can skip around or maybe one student will do more, one student will do less or move faster, and that's fine. I'm totally fine with that. So that's what I'm adding for our grammar. I would say that probably Grammar Castle will be our spine to start, but don't hold me to that because I do love Beowulf, and we are going to try that Simply Grammar as well and just see which is most effective or which is most enjoyable for all of us. And also for writing, we are going to do paragraph writing, and this is Flight 2. Now, we have not done a lot of writing yet. Part of it is like my Charlotte Mason sort of eclectic leaning, like that's one part of what I look at. And so I do dictation where I write it down, but I haven't had them do a lot of independent writing. And this looks like a fun program. She has DVDs, and there are 6 different projects that they're going to write. So it sounds fun and lighthearted. I don't want writing to feel like a drudgery to them. I can't say for sure, but my guess would be that none of them are going to grow up to be an author. You just never know. But, I shouldn't even speak that. Maybe they will be an author and it'll be amazing. My dad is an author, and you never would have guessed. Never even finished high school, but he became an author. So you never say never. We'll try that again. There are 6 different writing projects that they're going to go through in this, and they go step by step. We haven't seen the videos yet. I couldn't find a preview for the videos, so I can't say if they're going to be great or bad. Keep your eyes out. I'm sure I'll do a video if it is great later because I'll be excited to share it. But I thought that this would be a nice, gentle way to approach writing with all 3 of them, and just whatever they're able to do, whatever comes out is fine, and just a fun, light-hearted way to start to get the ball rolling with more writing in our homeschool. Let me share a couple reading things with you. One is, because my oldest has struggled with reading, I found a friend recommended these types of books. They are like high interest, low word count books, because older kids who are having trouble reading also don't want to read The Cat Sat on the Hat. That gets old fast. So I'm very excited that Carver, my oldest, is able to read these ones now. And that has been very helpful for him to feel more confident, and it's helping his skills. Another thing I always recommend is Elephant, Gerald and Piggy books. These are funny. They help teach kids vocal inflection when they're reading because the words are printed bigger or smaller. They use ellipses in there and all kinds of stuff. So these are very fun, and the stories are cute. And then also I got this game. I do like including games in our schooling, and this is very simple. You flip a card, read the word on it, and then you pop down the bubble that has that sound or that digraph on the word. And so they had a lot of fun. We played a few rounds of it when we first opened that, so, which was last night, so I'm sure we're going to play it again. It feels so simple too. It feels like, sometimes it's hard when you're trying to game school and there's a million steps to the game or a million random pieces, or you have to try to remember, like, okay, how many cards do we get to start? So it is helpful when there's a game where you just flip it over, read it, and pop the button. Like, that's Okay, I don't ever have to read the instructions again. I could have guessed it on my own if I didn't have the instructions, so I really appreciate that. I'm going to share what we're doing for Spanish. I found this CD, not this exact one because clearly it's in plastic, but this same CD was maybe at a thrift store or something. I don't remember, but I got it somehow. Or maybe I ordered it online. I don't know. Either way, I got CD 1 and I popped it in, and it was so immersive in the language. They sit down, the kids are talking, so it's just very conversational, and I really like how this was set up. So then I looked into the program and ordering the whole program, and it comes with 4 different levels. So there's, did I say CDs this whole time? They're DVDs. Okay. 4 DVDs that are included in it, and so, you know, so you can see things because it's DVDs, not CDs. You're not just listening. You're actually seeing them say the words and what they're pointing at, so that helps. But it comes with 4 DVDs. It comes with card games. It comes with student manuals and teacher manual and how to play the card games. There's also a dice game, and we haven't gotten high enough in the level to incorporate all the pieces of this. I did purchase this last year. We did watch the DVD a few times, which was a good start. I don't think we played the game even. It was very simple what we did. And, but this year, I'm like, okay, we're going to do it again. I like this. I like the way it's set up still. And so it's just getting it into my rotation, right? On top of all the other things that we're doing. Ooh, before I forget too, I want to share this resource. This globe we really like. It's by Leapfrog, and it has real videos that it'll show of real places around the world. When you click on the country, it'll give you information. You can play games with the globe. But also just like it's a nice, good quality globe. So I keep it right out there where we're always homeschooling. And so we can look at the countries. One thing that we do in the mornings throughout the school year is we watch The World from A to Z by Carl Azus. And that's a YouTube show. He does like 10 minutes of news in the morning. It's very neutral, which I appreciate. And they usually have a segment where they feature a country. So when they do that, we pause it, we go, we get the globe and find the country. So that's been super helpful. And then, like I said, I do wrap up their table before the first day of school. So it's a surprise. So I do have a few things on there that are educational, but also fun for them to open. So I thought I'd share just a few things that I'm going to be putting on there. I've got this CD, which is The Story of Classical Music, and an Adventures in Odyssey set of CDs. I got these little scribble pads. They were cheap, maybe like $6 or something, but the boys will be excited to use those. And I got them all wristwatches where it's actually an analog clock, so they have to tell the time. And another special thing I got was a black light. And I thought that they would find that very interesting and goes along with science and experiments. So that's all just part of making the first day fun and exciting for them is unwrapping the table and seeing not only what they're going to be doing throughout the year, but also having a few fun things that they can look at and experiment with that first day. So this feels like a long video, longer than usual. Usually I try to get to the point. I try not to put in too much of the personal sappy stories because sometimes that can get old. And but I knew this was going to be a long video. I knew it was going to be like a sit back, get your tea, and, you know, paw through my stuff with me. I hope you enjoyed this look inside, and I will try to put a few videos of different pages and stuff into the video so that you can see kind of close-ups or flip-throughs. I can't speak much to the curriculums that we haven't used yet. The ones that we have used, I will link down in the description box below. And if you haven't checked out the end of the video where I put my outtakes, you should do that, because that's part of the fun of doing the YouTube videos, is taking the outtakes out and throwing them at the back of the video. I have a fun time putting that together. All right, well, I don't really know what else to say. I hope that you have a good homeschool year if you're homeschooling. If you haven't started yet or you're not sure about it, don't feel like what I do is what you need to do or even should do. What I do is what I do because I like it this way. And other people, they order one box curriculum and that's fine, or other people do most of their learning online and that's fine. And there's no one right way to homeschool your children. You know, God gave you your children for a reason. And so he'll give you the wisdom that you need in how to raise them. And don't let it be miserable for you. If something isn't working, even if you thought for sure that this was the way you should go. If it's really miserable, then it's okay to rethink it. It's okay to look into other options and to make it fit for your family. Because what a blessing to be able to homeschool our children, to spend our days with them and our time with them, and to be able to be a part of their life, be a part of all these hours of memories from their childhood. So may God bless you as you go out into your family and with your children, and remember that real life is messy and beautiful and better with books. And here's a behind the scenes look of all the stuff I had set out for you guys. Also, this type of chair, these like old-fashioned chairs, are so great. They lift up so they can be a step stool or a chair, but then they don't take up a lot of space. Thank you so much, Graham. So get a cup of tea and find a comfy spot, and find a comfy spot. And let's get, whoops. Oh goodness. Need more tea. Also end up getting stuff with us. Nah. So for Bible this year, I'm saying so too many times, aren't I? But I wanted to do, because we do so much living books, really, and it's hands-on and it's to the point, and I am repeating myself, which is great. I want them to cook more. That's amazing. Maybe I'll wait until it's done, because I think this is an extra loud round, an extra loud setting. What would that be called? Cycle? An extra loud cycle? Yeah. Okay, we'll give it 6 minutes and I'll come right back. Who's in here? Can you please stop banging the door? Thanks. So got this music course. Oh, no peeking. I'm not peeking. Okay. Well, and don't slam the door anymore, okay? Thank you. So this year I'm trying something oh my gosh, Echo. So I did anyway. So also for okay, focus, Echo. Well, I already said a lot about how we haven't done writing and stuff. Okay, and I'm gonna share what we, that was pretty wordy. It's fine.